up from your snooze. Come get with the crew. You know who it is, what it is, what we do. It's the crew, yeah. Oh yeah, it's the crew. Oh yeah, it's the crew, yeah. Oh yeah, it's the crew. Oh yeah, it's time to snooze. Join the crew. We got news, we got tunes. We gon' hit you with the truth. We ain't like them other dudes. All the glory to Jesus, cause of him we making moves. Oh yeah, we done found our groove. You can come get with it too. It's the crew.
Hey, your favorite person is in court. Your favorite person, the person that you love to hear talk, Mr. Keffe D. Tupac murder is officially on trial.
Davis there is referring to his nephew, Orlando Anderson, as the one who pulled the trigger.
Even though we've heard a lot of these interviews, even though we've heard a lot of the recantments, even though we've heard a lot of the people, kind of explain this, I think that now we're hearing it. I think then we were hearing it just because people wanted to be relevant and wanted to say, I was there, and wanted to say, oh, I know exactly what happened, and wanted to blah, 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 blah. I think now we're getting a seriousness of the testimonies and a seriousness of kind of what's going on. I'm just more confused at, why do we care about a trial? Why can we not just, Keffe D said that he did it, and apparently he was pissed about Orlando Anderson. I think that's really what's driving the nail in the coffin, that he is that he had a reason behind it. But it seems like his lawyer is defending him in a sense of, man, all he does is talk. Like, he says a lot of stuff. If y'all know Keffe D, y'all know how he moves around. Y'all know that that's what he does, is that he runs his mouth. And you can't believe 70% of what Keffe D says. But obviously something was toiling within Keffe D, where he was like, I got to get this out. We saw the I don't care. I have cancer now. I have nothing to lose. Let me go ahead and tell you the real story. But in the same breath, when somebody's being interviewed and saying, hey, was your show scripted? He's saying yes, and the guy's saying no. So what are we doing here? That's ultimately my question. What are we doing here? Is he having, talker's remorse at this point? Like, realizing you really done stepped in it now? Or, is this just the optics because everybody wants this big fish and there's something else going on behind the scenes?
It's definitely talker's remorse. You have a guy, Keffe D, who has been, quite frankly, has been addicted to the public light as the only lone survivor to have helped take the life of Tupac. And so a person generating that type of attention, I feel like Keffe D was engulfed in that and was addicted to that. Ultimately, nothing happened to him. We're 30 years removed from that. So at this point, a lot of people have passed since. A lot of people have gone on, and a lot of people aren't here. Tupac fans are older. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of time has went on. And so I just think it's a lot of Keffe D thinking nothing would happen to him. And the reason why he was talking to begin with is because of that deal he was offered not to get busted. So he offered them that information. Ultimately, I feel like you could take his word at it, that what he said on those tapes is what really happened.
Valid.
And so you have somebody that really wasn't supposed to be talking about those things because it could only keep him safe in that room. But you go forward, you write a book, you start doing interviews as the lone survivor to have the real details of somebody who helped take the life of Tupac. And so he finds himself in this situation as an old man that he's ultimately, I don't feel like it's going to get out of. And I think it's sayonara. You could say, oh, he's just talking and all these other things. But the evidence points him to it. The evidence points him there. Like, you know what I'm saying? And his own admission puts him there. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Keffe D is cooked. It's over. You know what I'm saying? And he has nobody to blame but himself, because he could have stayed to himself. He could have, went off into the sunset, lived his life.
I'm sure there was plenty of sleepless nights, though. I think that's real. I think that this is what people don't understand, right? And then when it comes to this one, you didn't just off somebody that nobody knew about in the hood. Like I hate to say it, but if Orlando Anderson wasn't tied to the taking out of Tupac, him being wiped off the map 2 years later, nobody would know about outside of Compton. But because of the high profile artist that this happened to, we know who that is. And I doubt Keffe has had any type of peace knowing that he was in the car in that moment and seeing everybody who was in that car fade away. There's no way you have peace behind this. And this topic comes up every couple years, damn near every year.
I mean, I don't particularly know if he felt the way. I think Keffe D was an opportunist. And I just think the attention of him doing all these interviews, whether it be Art of the Dialogue, whether it be Vlad TV, whether it be other interviews, because this tape had leaked, so everybody knew about it. You know what I'm saying? This tape,
what the proffer?
Right, of the agreement. The tape was already out though, so everybody knew it. So I think Keffe D just at that point was like, well, it's out there. Everybody's saying I did, and everybody knows I did it. So I'm gonna go on tour and try to make some money off of this. And that's exactly what happened. But he was only protected in that room. He wasn't protected outside of that room. So going and claiming, ownership to have a hand in this murder, there should be no surprise where you find yourself in this situation where it ain't looking too good. It ain't looking like you about to get out of this one, buddy.
Well, Crip Max said he don't know cuz. So with that, he said he don't know that.
Bro, I mean,
on Crip.
Bro, it's just crazy because Keffe D in the streets, a lot of people knew about Keffe D in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Because of how he was back in the day, during that time, he was really deep in the streets. And his nephew, you know what I'm saying? His nephew, Orlando Anderson. So, I mean, these are guys that were deep in the streets. Keffe D just so happened to be the one to outlive everybody, tell the story. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of the biggest stories in the last 100 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I agree with you. I definitely do think Keffe D is cooked. Like I said, the amazement for me, because I didn't think I would care about this trial, right? It's a Tupac trial. So many people done came and said that they knew. So many people done came and said that they done did it. So many people done, you know what I'm saying? So I just really I was kind of off the Tupac murder case. But now that we are here, the information that's coming out is very interesting. I think it's crazy that you have people who are in their 40s and 50s trying to recount something that happened 30 years ago. And you have to be getting fragmented testimonies. There is I don't care how well your memory is. Your testimony, detectives will tell you all the time. Why is it called the first 48? Why is it called the first 48? Because they know that if we can get you in that first 48 hours, everything is fresh, nothing is gone cold, everything, you can remember. I need to get you in that first 48 hours. And they say, even if you can get them in about 2 weeks, you've done your job. But 30 years, bro? Come on. I mean, at that point, like I said, it's interesting hearing these statements and seeing these grown people that aren't even a part of that lifestyle no more. I think about Ingrid Stokes, right? The one that they brought, the woman who was in the line and kind of pulled off before they started shooting. She says her head was down, blah, blah, blah. Cool. But her life was totally different then than what it is now. Her life now is probably quiet, calm, career focused, like just chilling with probably got some grandkids now. But at that time, she was partying, going to Vegas just to kick it. Ran into Tupac and shit. Like, so watching him recount, you can't even visualize, oh yeah, they like looking at Keffe D now, like you would never imagine that he was like leading gangs out that way. Seeing Suge Knight is a bit different, right? Seeing Tupac is a bit different because Tupac will forever be immortalized in that one picture of that car, right? We don't know what Tupac looks like older, so that's different. We keep seeing this. How old was he? 25, 26?
26.
26. So we keep seeing this 26-year-old young man that has been immortalized and looking this way forever. But you see all these other people, even the paid informant coming in having to speak as well. Like, and he's still trying to be like, yo, I'm, the code of the streets. Like, I ain't really talking, but I'm giving him, some information. And he's having to relive this. The trauma that everybody's having to relive is crazy. Should they do something about it? I mean, will we ultimately get this clarity or this big breath of fresh air once this murder trial is done? Is that what we all are seeking at the end of this? Is that kind of what we're looking for?
I don't think we're really going to learn a lot more information than what Keffe D already put out there for himself. Like, I mean, we talk about a man that detailed leading up to it, during it, after it. Like, we're really not gonna
spoke on this.
No. Like in terms of
actually detailing the events, because he would be the only other one that could truly detail the events.
No. I mean, he's never cooperated with law enforcement of who he believed shot at them, or shot Tupac. Like, no, he's never cooperated as it pertains to, you know what I'm saying? But let Keffe D tell it. He says he looked them right in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So what are we to? Has he just been silent this whole time? At this point, I don't know if he did see him and know that it was them. I don't know if we're ever going to get Suge Knight basically saying that, yeah, it was him, or right, that it was Keffe D.
At this point, what are we holding on to? Like, I mean, at this point, I guess you'd owe it to the public to give that information. Honestly.
Yeah, no. I would think that we would want to know, but I don't think we're going to get that at this point in time, because it'd be like, why didn't you say anything back then? You know what I'm saying? So at this point,
thinking about the gang culture and thinking about what's around at that time, I mean, of course, not then. I mean, not then, but now, kind of like what Ingrid said. Hey, man, in our culture, we don't really talk to the police, especially out in LA. Like, that's not something that we do. On top of, I was afraid for my life. That same person that shot could have been driving down the strip and nobody knew who it was, and they saw us talking to the police. So I think it's interesting. I think it is the case is way more interesting than what I gave it credit for being. I really thought this was just going to be kind of one of them things where, man, we already know all the information. We done heard all the information for years from the detective, from Keffe D, from different ones that's been interviewed. Like, we already know this to be the case. We all know that Orlando was the one. Like, we already know all of this, right? So what else are we getting from this trial? But now that it's in a more controlled environment, now that it's in a more of a asking pinpointed questions, now that it's more sitting here in front of everybody, it is pretty interesting. And I don't know what's going to happen. I think ultimately after this, because Diddy's name was brought up, ultimately after this, maybe we'll finally get Biggie's murder taken care of as well. I just don't get how two high-profile artists can be taken off, and we don't have no.
I mean,
no
I don't
indication.
necessarily know if we're any more closer to Biggie's to Biggie's case in particular, because everything about that situation on that night is just so confusing. Because
you talking about
the couple people that saw something or someone whether it be a guy in a striped shirt or a guy in a suit that looked like you know what I'm saying, a Muslim guy or whatever, because we've
Yeah.
heard these things outside of that event. Like, these are the only things that have said to have been seen. Like, Tupac was outside of a you know, Vegas strip, you know what I'm saying, and there was a lot of people that were around. You know, you have the women that recognized them and stopped, you know what I'm saying, to talk to, you know, Tupac and Suge or whatever the case may be. Biggie's case is just so weird because you really have nothing outside of, I seen this person walk here and was walking around, and then you have nothing else. So it's crazy.
What's crazy is they both was killed at a red light. How that's
Yeah,
wild to me.
yeah, it's crazy. The one of the main theories that you can think about is that's been brought out there is Suge has something to do with Biggie as Get Back for Tupac. But even that's like, you see it, but if you know the people that really killed Tupac, then why are you going after Biggie? You know what I'm saying? So,
but I mean,
at the same token,
if you have,
and I guess if
you know,
you
one of the things that
believe,
came up,
right,
is oh, the Crips were hired
Puffy
by
by
Puffy to make sure that Suge them didn't bother Puffy.
Sean Combs' name also comes up repeatedly.
So
Yeah, but
that's
I
kind of the
mean,
motive that, you know, they're trying to paint this, oh, they already had beef narrative.
but you know what you did in that casino to Orlando Anderson.
Right.
So
At
it
the end of the
sounds
day,
more
outside of
likely.
everything else, yeah.
So it sounds more likely if you were to see Keffe D, this happened because this just happened. Like, if he's holding back something anyways, like, so why would you go after, even though you know it was street beef, or you know,
Yeah.
some street stuff that happened. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So that's how I feel.
So you think it's out the window that Suge set it all up? You think that's out the window now?
I don't believe Suge set up Biggie's murder.
You don't believe that?
There's some evidence that can point him to
But you're
it,
not
but
denying the fact that Puffy might have had something to do with Pac. You're not
I'm
denying
not
that fact.
I'm not denying the fact that there was definitely more than likely probably a meeting with Puff and Keffe D and the Crips to stop the harassing and what Suge was doing at that time. I do believe that was a real meeting that happened. But I do
So
believe that so much time went on to where it was kind of like something that wasn't discussed or remembered no furthermore. I believe a significant time went on. And so when it did happen, it was kind of like, oh, well, we took care of it, so now we should get some money. But so much
right.
time had went on, it was just kind of like, you know, an initial conversation, and then that was kind of that. You know what I'm
So
saying?
with that being said, are we at a point now? Because Diddy is still locked up. Is that ultimately going to be something that he's going to be brought in, and is he a star witness, or are they adding this on to what he's already been investigated for? Or
Puffy is not a star witness because he's incriminating himself if he's a star witness. So we're not going to see him involved in this at all. I don't even think you have enough evidence to point him to it because you just got word of mouth of what Keffe D said, and that's really not enough to
well, there was
charge
another witness.
Puff. There
Well,
has to be. You
that
gotta
wasn't
have the money.
yeah.
You don't have the money. You hear that Von Zip wound up keeping the money that he was supposed to give to
Yeah.
KPD, but you don't have the transaction. So
Right.
that's as good as nothing. You only have KPD's story.
Yeah.
You only have KPD's story.
Well,
That's
and
not good enough.
people who kind of liken them to the situation, like he said, well,
You
hey, we
only
had a
have
conversation.
no.
You
You
know,
only have KPD. You only have KPD's story as it pertains to an actual meetup.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you don't really have nobody else's story as it pertains to a meetup or transaction. And then the money was never given to them. It was never
yeah,
given to them. You can't prove that money because you didn't even get no money. You didn't even get no payout. I'm not
right.
saying that the meeting didn't happen. I feel like it happened, but
You just
just
saying you can't
nothing
prove
else
it.
happened. yeah, nothing else happened outside of that. And Diddy is lucky to the point to where he can literally, it's just literally his word against mine. There's no money. There's nobody saying, "Oh, I got the money and I was supposed to give it to him." If I'm not mistaken, Zip passed away, so you don't have the story of Zip giving the money to. So it's just
How
if
long
he
you
held
think?
on to the money, he held on to the money.
How long you think this trial is going to go on for? I'm actually surprised that we're already at a week.
I mean, I'm not sure what the state is presenting and what else they may have, but
I mean, you don't
in
have
terms
to
of a
though.
jury,
The
in
fact that
terms of
I
a
have,
jury,
the fact that I have his testimony should be all I need. Like I
well,
get you're trying to backtrack it now, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I don't. That don't mean nothing to me.
I don't think it'll go on too much longer. I think the jury, I think that'll go longer than expected, though.
Oh, you think they actually gonna deliberate and
I think that's gonna
like
be it.
really? You think
I think that'll
it
be a
might be a hung
significant.
jury? Ain't no way.
I don't know, but I think they'll deliberate for a good significant amount of time.
I don't see what your significance would be why you would do that. I mean, I get it, giving everybody a fair shake, but
Because you got a guy telling a story about something that happened, and then you have him saying, "Oh, well, that really didn't happen."
right.
So, and he's the only one in this car alive,
Yeah.
apparently.
I'll say
I think it's a harder trial to deliberate more than a lot of people are assuming.
I think his
Honestly.
lawyer is doing a hell of a job painting a picture and, kind of making sure that there's doubt in what is coming across, making sure that poking holes in the prosecution. And I think he's doing a pretty good job of that. Like I said, it's just weird to me that you would go on this tour and then all of a sudden turn around and be like, psych, I was just playing, y'all. My bad. Like, I was just talking. Like, who wouldn't want to say that they know what happened to Tupac? Like, that's the way he's presented. Like, who wouldn't say they know what happened? Everybody knows that I was a part of the Crips. Everybody knows that, I was this, that, and the third. Like, and I'm kind of old. That's my senilism coming on. Like, of course I said it. Like, and that's what his lawyer is kind of presenting. But you dug your hole, man. You dug your hole, so you should let it be. But that has been very interesting, man. Y'all already know who it is, what it is, and what we do, baby. It is your boy Jay. That is Chris, and we are officially out of here.